Hey everyone, so today we're headed out to a mine that dates to about 1891. It was one of the first claims staked in this area. It was a copper mine primarily, but it also had gold and silver ore recoveries. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if we can locate a cabin site or two and a mill out here, mill site. So we hope you enjoy this video, and we appreciate you coming along, and we're going to get going. So on the way up to the mine, we were looking for the camp, and while we were headed for the camp, we came across the remains of this ore car, which is super cool. See the chassis there and the gate and two of the wheels there. And then over here, we have the body, what remains of the ore car body. And then you can see the release here and the foot pedal. And so this mine was shut down by 1905. So this ore car predates that. All right, so we're going to jump up to the cabin site and then head for the mine. So this is the cabin site, and there's just a whole bunch of old stove parts here. And you can see there's some stove legs and the burner cut there, and a door. And over here, it's like the flue with the little lever to open and close it. There's some ornate designs on it here. But the coolest thing I think we found in all this is this door that has this ceramic on it here. Yeah, that's super cool. Definitely over 100 years old. First time I've seen that. All the stove parts we find out here, I've never seen one with a ceramic medallion in it. A little bit of a design on this too, so it's kind of hard to see. So we made our way up above the camp, and we're starting to pick up the miner's trail through here. So we're gonna just kind of make our way around all this mess. See if we can. I think Drew's already up ahead and found the trail. A little slippery out here today. So with one hand's probably not the smartest thing when climbing this. Alright, so looks like the miner's trail's right through here. We're coming up on the gulch. Where the mine is. The brush has just been bare all day long. Doesn't help it's wet. this is where it gets pretty cool. So we're kind of entering the gulch. And you can make up the mine right there. And over here, looks like Drew just moved the toad out of the way. This guy's just sitting right here. So this is probably one of the most impressive features outside of the mine itself. And it's this cliff face that they blasted the miner's trail out of. So you can see how it overhangs here, and then the miner's trail goes through here. I mean, it's super cool. There's a few of these I've seen before, but not too many, so it's always kind of cool to see the ingenuity that they had and did. And you can see it's pretty much straight down off this into the gulch. And this area was kind of blasted out, notched out. And then back here, there's a few artifacts. Looks like we've got some nails, an old file there, some single jack steel there, and part of the old forge, which is really cool to see. And it's good to see these artifacts are still here. I'll take one look back at this miner's blasted out trail we came in on, which is really, really cool. Like I said, outside of the mine, it's probably one of the coolest features here. Things are starting to bloom. Snow is melted off. The day has improved considerably from when we started. Again, it's looking down the gulch. And this mine is one of the more picturesque added entrances of any of the mines we've visited. It's pretty cool. So we'll get up over here. And we've got quite a bit of water coming down today, so it's going to be fun getting up that. Alright, so we're going to scale down off this ledge and figure out how we're going to make our way up that with all that water down there. And here's a view just looking back at that blasted out miner's trail, which you can see kind of right over there. And now we're going to make our way down here, get below the mine. Kind of see the waterfalls and Drew there for perspective. And again, it's a little wet today, so everything's a little harder than it should be. But we do live in Washington, and if you don't explore in the rain, you're probably not going to explore all that often. Alright, so now we're below the waterfall in the gully here. Rocks are shifting. It's like Drew's kind of figured out a way. I didn't see what he did, but I'm sure he'll tell me. So I don't have to go in the drink as much. Alright, so it's looking up. It's the entrance, so now it's going to be my turn here. Okay, so we made it up into the mine, and just kind of looking back down the ledge we climbed up. Right, so we got a little bit of water in here. See the timber in here, where it kind of has a little space they probably used for storage, and then the tunnel goes off to the right. And we'll swing around. Look at this first. See, there's some wire still in this explosive box that was used as a shelf. It's kind of cool. And it looks like this just kind of goes straight back and faces out. And we have some sort of wire down here. Right, so like I was saying, probably more than once in this video, that this mine was staked in 1891. It was worked probably in the mid to late 1890s, and then there's no record of it after 1905. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's when it went defunct, according to the records. It was copper, gold, and silver. The workings aren't particularly large. I think it's just over 400 feet. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Washington, just a lot of the mines on the west side were not that big. They just didn't have the ore bodies they'd hoped for. They weren't profitable, so they didn't last very long. So the workings in a lot of the mines just weren't that large. And here, got some more timbers, looks like. Kind of wedged, some wedges up there, it looks like. And maybe they were just starting to do a little bit of stoping in here. You can see the steel bracing there. Right, so we got a right and a left here. So we're going to go right. It doesn't look like there's much to this. Looks like there's a little bit of a collapse or partial backfill, but we'll check it out. here. See what's going on back here. Don't hit your head twice anyway. So I'm gonna have to kind of improvise here to get back here. And speaking of copper, when I'm doing this crawl, I can kind of make out some of that there, some of this material. So it's kind of interesting. Just find that by mistake. Apologize for that. I'll kind of show you here. It's just kind of a low area to crawl through, so that was kind of messy. Try to film through. Probably should have turned the camera off. As you kind of look around, you don't see a lot of veins, you don't see a lot of minerals showing, other than where we just were. I showed you that little piece. It looks like here, I've got an explosives box. Don't think there's any writing on it, or if there is, it's gone. I don't see anything. And then back here, it definitely faces out. Looking at this material, I just don't see anything really of note in terms of a vein or anything. I think some of the best stuff we saw was that area I climbed through, or crawled through rather. Kind of right through here, some of this ground fall or whatever it is. You see, it looks like there's a lot of quartz in it. Take a look at this. Definitely a lot of quartz. Really strange though, because I don't. It's almost like this had to be backfill, because I don't see anything, obviously, in this part of the mine as far as the geology or the veins that matches this. So this definitely looks like it might have been backfill. Look at this, yeah. Huh. All right, so I'm gonna. I think this time turn the camera off when I crawl back through here. All right, so I crawled back through the low area. I'm just kind of looking around at some of the minerals on the ground. Looks like we got some pyrites in here. I don't know if you can see that really well. My light's too bright, maybe. It's a little better. I see a lot of minerals in the stuff on the ground. It's the only place I'm seeing it. Another little area here where it looks like it's that same material. quartz there. Some looks like pyrite on it, I think. Okay, so now we're going to head forward. And there's some more material piled up here. Not sure again if they were backfilling here. You can see some timbers down there. And then we have a rod, looks like here. So here, we kind of run into a vein here, looks like quartz. Running just along here. Notched out, probably to store things. A little bit of ground fall here. Looks like someone's been in here banging on the walls, trying to find some samples. And definitely get my phone out of the way here. Definitely backfilled, whatever that was. Just kind of looking at the material. Kind of a good view of some of the material that someone, again, looks like they've been doing some mineral or ore sampling here. Kind of maybe hitting away at the walls. Looks like another rod here, like packing explosives. Got another explosives box here. Yeah, looks like we run into another, maybe part of a vein here. Some quartz showing. It gets a little messy through here. A lot of material is sheared off. Continuing back, gets a little tighter back here. Just with all this material that's kind of sloughed into the tunnel. Just like I did just there. Oh yeah, this is messy back here. You can see how fractured this shaly material is. So here we have another rod, an explosive box that's partly buried, and the shovel, which is pretty cool. It's in pretty good shape. Always good to see artifacts still here. Alright, so it looks like here we have a wheelbarrow. And this thing is really old. Been here for a long time. Step down over it here. Get a better view of it. So what's really particularly cool about this wheelbarrow, outside of the fact it's more than 100 years old, is you can see, I'll try to set my light down so I can show you, like right here, there's a can that they tied to the front of it for some sort of light source, a candle or something they would put in there, which I've never seen that before, and that's minor ingenuity for you. I think that's pretty awesome. It's a one-of-a-kind deal I've never seen. So, and you can see it's got the wheel spokes there. Fortunately, it's partially buried, just with all this material shearing. So that is a really, really cool wheelbarrow. And I think right back here we face out. So what do we got back here? Well, we got another explosive box down here. And then the face, you can see there's a little bit of material, quartz material running through there, the vein going up through here. There's probably some other artifacts under all this, unfortunately, that's sheared off, but very cool. Love to see how that thing worked when they were using it. Just something you don't, like I said, I've never seen it before. It's kind of fun. All right, so we're gonna start making our way back the other direction. So one of the difficult things about wet weather and days like this is the moisture. When you get into these mines and you get this haze, so when you're trying to take pictures and film, it's hard. A little bit of color, I think. Some more vein there, some quartz kind of run along here. So this is kind of interesting. We got some quartz. It looks like quartz showing here on this slab. And the slab definitely looks out of place to the rest of the tunnel, and that's because it is. You can see back here that this is sheared off from up here somewhere, and obviously was attached and just sheared down. So some of the risks when you explore mines of things are in motion sometimes, not very often. We come back to mines and look at pictures of before and after and do not see a lot of change. But you don't want to be that 1 in a million moment when that change does occur. Looks like we have a can of some kind there. Just kind of trying to find any artifacts or anything, make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks like we got another can of some kind there. Boy, this back feels interesting. It doesn't look like it really continued much, and according to the records of the size of this, it probably wasn't much to it. You can just see here just how crumbly this material can get, and this is just kind of a piece hanging here on the side here. We got the same thing going on here, where this is just very shaly, kind of crumbly material. Looks like another part of an explosive box. And obviously no rail. I don't even see sleepers for rail. So that was removed long ago. Probably didn't stop and look at this too close coming in, but we got a lot of quartz showing here. Quite a bit, actually. Yeah, you can see some pyrites back in there. Probably the most mineralization I've seen outside of those small veins that I showed you. And you can look here at this shoring, this big timber up above. This really big timber on the far left there. You can see what this thing's doing. It's holding up there. Probably a good thing those timbers are the size they are. They'd be in pretty bad shape. Not that they aren't, but they're probably better just because of their mass. we make our way back this direction, we'll start to hear the rumble of the waterfall. And of course, we have the water here to get back through. See all these wedge pieces that they put up above this timbering here, which is kind of interesting. Not sure if this is like a piece of drill steel here. I think I looked at it coming in, but it looks like it's maybe some drill steel. Hard to tell. It's pretty corroded. And you can see just all this iron in the ceiling here. Some gear there. We did talk about copper, and I didn't see a lot other than that piece I showed you, and there's a little bit of green showing there, but not a lot. Alright, so I'm going to figure out how to water slide myself down out of this thing. Up through over here, checking out some samples, I think. Like the rain's starting to come back in, unfortunately. So, made it back down off the ledge of the adit there, kind of looking back up at this waterfall and this highly mineralized face here. I mean, you can probably definitely tell why there was an interest to drive a mine here. All right, so one last look back at the adit entrance there. And we'll take one last look at this cool miner's trail, which again is probably the second coolest feature here. You can just see how that was blasted out of the cliffside. It's super awesome. So this is as good a time as any to say thanks for coming along with us today on this mine exploration adventure. We sure do appreciate it. We also appreciate you following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you like what we do, please consider doing so. And until our next adventure, take care.